Giselle, right?
Huh?
You're Giselle, right?
Reyes.
Okay, okay. Lewis, Luce. Good afternoon, students. Please log into Kahoot. We're waiting for the bell before we start.
Giselle.
You're Giselle. I was calling her today. And Miss Dingle. I know you're, and you're Emily. I'm gonna have her right after you. Emily, will you close the door, please? Thank you. Come on, folks, log in. I'm still writing down names of who's participating. All right, students, we're going to begin with scene 4 in Act 3. If you look at the notes in the chat, Paris once again tries to get Lord Capulet to agree to the wedding, even though Tybalt has just died. And Paris is also a relative of the prince. So he is in the royal family and is of very high social status. He wants, Lord Capulet suggests he knows his daughter's mind and she will agree to marry Paris. You see within the play a clash between parents and children, youth and old age. Capulet and Paris discuss how Juliet's grief over Tybalt's death has prevented Paris from continuing his courtship of Juliet. And Paris is preparing to leave. He's going to offer Juliet hand in marriage. You look at the parents and Juliet's interaction with her mom and dad confirms the failure of parental love because their sole concern is with an acceptable marriage within society than their daughter's happiness. You're going to see Lady Capulet and Lord Capulet give some very strong, hateful language while we're listening to the play. Lady Capulet is far from a loving maternal figure, a mother, but she's very cold and vengeful. She's going to tell her daughter that she's done with her. And the father is basically going to tell her the same thing. So my question to you is there ever a situation in which parents should disown their children? Type the answer in the chat. You see also in the story that Juliet is really grieving because Romeo has been banished rather than the death of Tybalt. And she's trying, and her mom is trying to comfort her daughter, but she plans to get even with Romeo by poisoning him for some reason. It's Lady Capulet that plans to poison Romeo. That part was left out the sentence. You see also the figurative language and imagery within this play. The dawn or the light separates Romeo and Juliet. They can only meet in the darkness because of the secrecy of their marriage and the secrecy of their relationship. Act 3 is important because Romeo and Juliet are separated. Romeo is banished. Juliet's proposed marriage to Paris being brought forward. Why do you think Shakespeare does this at the same point in the play? So that's an overview of the notes and the summaries for scene 4 and for scene 5. Okay, so Emily said never. D'Amica said no. Anyone else? Should parents disown their children? You might marry someone that they don't agree with, or you might be involved with people they don't like. So what do you think? Okay, let's see here. And so we might be a little bit before it, but we should be.
All your state. Either be gone before the watch is set, or by the break of day disguised from hence, sojourn in Mantua. I'll find out your man, and he shall signify from time to time every good hap to you that chances here. Give me your hand. 'Tis late. Farewell. Good night.
But that a joy past joy calls out on me, it were a grief so brief to part with thee. Farewell.
Exit. Scene 4. A room in Capulet's house. Enter Capulet, Lady Capulet, and Paris.
Things have fallen out, sir, so unluckily that we have had no time to move our daughter. Look you, she loved her kinsman Tybalt dearly, and so did I. Well, we were born to die. 'Tis very late. She'll not come down tonight. I promise you, but for your company, I would have been in bed an hour ago.
These times of woe afford no tune to woo. Madam, good night. Commend me to your daughter.
I will, and know her mind early tomorrow. Tonight she's mewed up to her heaviness.
Sir Paris, I will make a desperate tender of my child's love. I think she will be ruled in all respects by me. Nay, more, I doubt it not. Wife, go you to her ere you go to bed. Acquaint her here of my son Paris's love, and bid her, mark you me, on Wednesday next. But soft, what day is this?
Monday, my lord.
Monday. Ah, well, Wednesday is too soon. Thursday let it be. A Thursday, tell her. She shall be married to this noble earl. Will you be ready? Do you like this haste? We'll keep no great ado, a friend or two. For hark you, Tybalt being slain so late, it may be thought we held him carelessly, being our kinsman, if we revel much. Therefore we'll have some half a dozen friends, and there an end. But what say you to Thursday?
My lord, I would that Thursday were tomorrow.
Well, get you gone. A Thursday be it then. Go you to Juliet ere you go to bed. Prepare her, wife, against this wedding day. Farewell, my lord. Light to my chamber, ho! Before me, it is so very, very late that we may call it early by and by. Good night.
Exit. Scene 5. An open gallery to Juliet's chamber, overlooking the garden. Enter Romeo and Juliet.
Wilt thou be gone? It is not yet near day. It was the nightingale and not the lark that pierced the fearful hollow of thine ear. Nightly she sings on yond pomegranate tree. Believe me, love, it was the nightingale.
It was the lark, the herald of the morn, no nightingale. Look, love, what envious streaks do lace the severing clouds in yonder east. Night's candles are burnt out, and jocund day stands tiptoe on the misty mountain tops. I must be gone and live, or stay and die.
Yond light is not daylight, I know it, I. It is some meteor that the sun exhales to be to thee this night a torch-bearer, and light thee on the way to Mantua. Therefore stay yet, thou needst not to be gone.
Let me be ta'en, let me be put to death. I am content, so thou wilt have it so. I'll say yon grey is not the morning's eye, 'tis but the pale reflex of Cynthia's brow, nor that is not the lark whose notes do beat the vaulty heavens so high above our heads. I have more care to stay than will to go. Come, death, and welcome. Juliet wills it so. How is my soul? Let's talk. It is not day.
It is, it is. Hie, hence, be gone, away. It is the lark that sings so out of tune, straining harsh discords and unpleasing sharps. Some say the lark makes sweet division. This doth not so, for she divideth us. Some say the lark and lo the toad change eyes. Oh, now I would they had changed voices too, since arm from arm that voice doth us affray, hunting thee hence with hunts up to the day. Now be gone, more light and light it grows.
More light and light, more dark and dark our woes.
Enter nurse.
Madam,
Nurse,
your lady mother is coming to your chamber. The day is broke. Be wary. Look about.
Exit.
at window let day in and let life out.
Farewell, farewell. One kiss and I'll descend.
Descends.
Art thou gone so? My lord, my love, my friend, I must hear from thee every day of the hour, for in a minute there are many days. Oh, by this count I shall be much in years ere I again behold my Romeo.
Farewell. I will omit no opportunity that may convey my greetings, love, to thee.
Oh, think'st thou we shall ever meet again?
I doubt it not, and all these woes shall serve for sweet discourses in our time to come.
Oh, God, I have an ill-divining soul. Methinks I see thee now thou art below, as one dead in the bottom of a tomb. Either my eyesight fails, or thou look'st pale.
And trust me, love, in my eyes so do you. Dry sorrow drinks our blood. Adieu. Adieu.
Exit below.
Oh, fortune, fortune, all men call thee fickle. If thou art fickle, what dost thou with him that is renowned for faith? Be fickle, fortune, for then I hope thou wilt not keep him long, but send him back.
Within.
Oh, daughter, are you up?
Whist that calls? Is it my lady mother? Is she not down so late or up so early? What unaccustomed cause procures her hither?
Enter Lady Capulet.
Why, how now, Juliet?
Madam, I am not well.
Evermore weeping for your cousin's death? What? Wilt thou wash him from his grave with tears? And if thou couldst not make him live. Therefore have done. Some grief shows much of love, but much of grief shows still some want of wit.
Yet let me weep for such a feeling loss.
So shall you feel the loss, but not the friend which you weep for.
Feeling so the loss, I cannot choose but ever weep the friend.
Well, girl, thou weepst not so much for his death, as that the villain lives which slaughtered him.
What villain, madam?
That same villain, Romeo.
Villain and he be many miles asunder. God pardon him, I do with all my heart, and yet no man like he doth grieve my heart.
That is because the traitor murderer lives.
Ay, madam, from the reach of these my hands, would none but I might venge my cousin's death.
We will have vengeance for it, fear thou not. Then weep no more. I'll send to one in Mantua, where that same banished runagate doth live. Shall give him such an unaccustomed dram, that he shall soon keep Tybalt company. And then, I hope, thou wilt be satisfied.
Indeed, I never shall be satisfied with Romeo till I behold him dead. Is my poor heart so for a kinsman vexed? Madam, if you could find out but a man to bear a poison, I would temper it, that Romeo should, upon receipt thereof, soon sleep in quiet. Oh, how my heart abhors to hear him named, and cannot come to him, to wreak the love I bore my cousin Tybalt upon his body that hath slaughtered him.
Find thou the means, and I'll find such a man. But now I'll tell thee joyful tidings, girl.
And joy comes well in such a needy time. What are they, I beseech your ladyship?
Well, thou hast a careful father, child, one who, to put thee from thy heaviness, hath sorted out a sudden day of joy, that thou expectest not, nor I looked out for.
Madam, in happy time, what day is that?
Marry, my child, early next Thursday morn, the gallant, young, and noble gentleman, the County Paris, at St. Peter's Church, shall happily make thee there a joyful bride.
Now by St. Peter's Church, and Peter too, he shall not make me there a joyful bride. I wonder at this haste, that I must wed ere he that should be husband comes to woo. I pray you tell my lord and father, madam, I will not marry yet, and when I do, I swear it shall be Romeo, whom you know I hate, rather than Paris. These are news indeed.
Here comes your father. Tell him so yourself, and see how he will take it at your hands.
Enter Capulet and nurse.
When the sun sets, the air doth drizzle dew. But for the sunset of my brother's son, it rains downright. How now, a candid girl, what skill in tears? Evermore showering? In one little body thou counterfeit'st a bark, a sea, a wind. For still thy eyes, which I may call the sea, do ebb and flow with tears. The bark thy body is, sailing in this salt flood. The winds thy sighs, who, raging with thy tears, and they with them, without a sudden calm, will overset thy tempest-tossed body. How now, wife, have you delivered to her our decree?
Ay, sir, but she will none, she gives you thanks. I would the fool were married to her grave.
Soft, take me with you, wife. How? Will she none? Doth she not give us thanks? Is she not proud? Doth she not count her blessed, unworthy as she is, that we have wrought so worthy a gentleman to be her bridegroom?
Not proud you have, but thankful that you have. Proud can I never be of what I hate. but thankful even for hate that is meant love.
How now? How now? Chop logic? What is this? Proud, and I thank you, and I thank you not, and yet not proud? Mistress Minion, you thank me no thankings, nor proud me no prouds, but fettle your fine joints gainst Thursday next, to go with Paris to St. Peter's Church, or I will drag thee on a hurdle thither. Out you green sickness carrion, out you baggage, you tallow face.
Fie, what are you, mad?
But father, I beseech you on my knees, hear me with patience but to speak a word.
Hang thee, young baggage, disobedient wretch. I tell thee what, get thee to church a Thursday, or never after look me in the face. Speak not, reply not, do not answer me. My fingers itch. Wife, we scarce thought us blessed that God had lent us but this only child, but now I see this one is one too much, and that we have a curse in having her. Out on her, guilty.
God in heaven bless her. You are to blame, my lord, to rate her so.
And why, my lady Wisdom? Hold your tongue. Good Prudence, smatter with your gossips. Go.
I speak no treason.
Oh, God ye good.
May not one speak?
Peace, you mumbling fool. Utter your gravity or a gossip's bowl, for here we need it not.
You are too hot.
God's bread, it makes me mad. Day, night, hour, time, tide, work, play, alone, in company, still my care hath been to have her matched. And having now provided a gentleman of noble parentage, of fair demeans, youthful and nobly trained, stuffed, as they say, with honourable parts, proportioned as one's heart would wish a man, and then to have a wretched puling fool of whining mammoths in her fortune's tender, to answer, I'll not wed, I cannot love, I am too young, I pray you pardon me. But you will not wed, I'll pardon you. Graze where you will, you shall not house with me. Look to't, think on't, I do not
He
use
told her
the
to
jest.
graze. Old
Thursday
cows
is near.
graze.
Lay hand on heart, advise that
cold.
you be mine. I'll give you to my friend, and you be not hang, beg, starve, die in the streets. But by my soul, I'll ne'er acknowledge thee, nor what is mine shall never do thee good.
So
Trust
he
to
basically told her she could starve in the
I'll
street.
not be forsworn.
Exit.
Is there no pity sitting in the clouds that sees into the bottom of my grief? Oh, sweet my mother, cast me not away. Delay this marriage for a month, a week, or if you do not, make the bridal bed in that dim monument where Tybalt lies.
Talk not to me, for I'll not speak a word. Do as thou wilt, for I have done with thee.
Exit.
Oh God, oh nurse, how shall this be prevented? My husband is on earth, my faith in heaven. How shall that faith return again to earth unless that husband send it me from heaven by leaving earth? Comfort me, counsel me. Alack, alack, that heaven should practice stratagems upon so soft a subject as myself. What say'st thou? Hast thou not a word of joy? Some comfort, nurse.
Faith, here 'tis. Romeo is banished, and all the world to nothing, that he dares ne'er come back to challenge you. Or if he do, it needs must be by stealth. Then, since the case so stands as now it doth, I think it best you married with the county. Oh, he is a lovely gentleman. Romeo's a dish-clout to him. An eagle, madam, hath not so green, so quick, so fair an eye as Paris hath. Beshrew my very heart, I think you are happy in this second match, for it excels your first. Or if it did not, your first is dead. Or 'twere as good he were as living here, and you no use of him.
Speak'st thou this from thy heart?
And from my soul too, or else beshrew them both.
Amen.
What?
Well, thou hast comforted me marvellous much. Go in, and tell my lady I am gone, having displeased my father to Lawrence's cell, to make confession and to be absolved.
Marry I will, and this is wisely done.
Exit.
Ancient damnation, O most wicked fiend! Is it more sin to wish me thus forsworn, or to dispraise my lord with that same tongue which she hath praised him with above compare so many thousand times? Go, Counselor, thou and my bosom henceforth shall be twain. I'll to the friar to know his remedy. If all else fail, myself have power to die.
Exit. End of Act 3.
So boys and girls in the chat, let's see how many other people have answered. So I asked students, should your parents disown their children? I have 1, 2, 3. Only 3 answers. And most of you said no. So basically, her parents said they want nothing to do with her if she does not marry who they want her to marry. Now, in your unit materials, go all the way down. Go on to the Life of Shakespeare, and this is where you'll find a Freya word model and your vocabulary list. It's also posted in your assignment where it says Freya word model, the vocabulary list, and the Freya word model. So what we're getting ready to do, and not today, but maybe next week, you will have a test on these vocabulary words for Act 1 and Act 2. It will be a multiple choice test, and then you'll have some questions where you have to give a short answer with the correct spelling, grammar, punctuation, etc., and a complete thought. Okay, so these are the words for Act 3. You have abhor, which means to hate, banishment, exile, calamity, disaster, commend or praise, dexterity or skill, discord, disagreement, eloquence, impressive speaking ability, prevail means to triumph, reconcile, to settle, make peace, and vengeance, that's revenge. So those are the words for Acts 1, 2, and 3. So what you're going to do now is that you're going to go to your assignment. Oh, where is it? And this is the Freya word model. And in this, in the middle, you're going to have to choose a word that you do not know, and you can choose it from any of these acts. You're going to write the word in the middle, right here in the oval, write the word here, write the definition. Let's say I had invocation. I would write invocation here. Then I would write the definition of invocation. Invocation means prayer. For facts, you could tell me the syllables, parts of speech, synonym, antonym. And where we have examples, we're going to draw a picture. If I was to draw a picture for invocation, I would put the praying hands, whether you draw it, copy, or paste. So that's what you're going to do and turn in for assignment for a grade. Are there any questions? How many of you used this before? This graphic organizer for your vocabulary. So again, you put the word here. Let's say I chose the word vengeance. I would write vengeance in the oval. I put the definition, revenge, facts, what part of speech is it, how many syllables. You can go to dictionary.com. What are the synonyms, the antonyms? If I wanted to draw a picture for vengeance, I would draw a knife with blood on it. That's what I would draw. But that's up to you. So that's what you're going to work on now. And I'm not sure. Someone sent me an email. I don't know if it was this class or another class, but while you're working, they said they couldn't access Edpuzzle, so I'm gonna play this one more time And if you haven't turned this in, you need to write down the answers in Google Docs and send it to me. So I don't know if it was this class or someone else. So if you do not need Edpuzzle, please work on your activity for the Freya word model. And there are plenty of you who have missing assignments. So you have no time to waste. I'm not sure when report cards come out, but you need to get your grades in, because I'm gonna have grades finished a day or two before they're due. And then if you don't have your work submitted, okay, so I'm gonna play this. Let me stop talking.
Romeo and Juliet takes place in Verona, Italy. Two of the most important families in that city, the Montagues and the Capulets, have a long-standing feud with each other. At the beginning of the play, Montague and Capulet servants get into a fight with each other. Benvolio, a Montague family member, tries to break up the fight, but one of the Capulets, Tybalt, starts fighting with Benvolio. Finally, the prince comes and breaks up the fight. He tells Montague and Capulet, the head of each family, that they'll be put to death if this happens again. Afterward, Montague and Lady Montague ask Benvolio where their son Romeo was during the fight. Benvolio says Romeo's been moping around by himself, but he'll find out why. Romeo tells Benvolio that he's lovesick. He's in love with a girl named Rosaline who doesn't love him back. Benvolio promises to help Romeo forget about her. Count Paris says he wants to marry Capulet's only daughter, Juliet. Capulet wants Paris to wait a few years because Juliet's only 13, but says Paris can see if she's interested. He invites Paris to a feast that night. Capulet's servant walks around town, trying to invite a list of people to Capulet's feast. The trouble is the servant can't read. He stops Benvolio and Romeo and asks them for help. Romeo sees Rosaline's name on the list, and Benvolio says they should crash the party so Romeo can compare Rosaline to other girls and get over her. Romeo agrees to go, but just so he can see Rosaline. Lady Capulet, Juliet, and Juliet's nurse discuss the fact that Paris wants to marry Juliet. Lady Capulet and the nurse sing his praises. Juliet agrees to meet him. Romeo, Benvolio, and Mercutio crash the feast wearing masks. At the party, Romeo sees Juliet and forgets all about Rosaline. He's in love. Capulet's nephew Tybalt recognizes Romeo's voice and is furious that Romeo snuck in. Capulet orders Tybalt to let it go because he doesn't want fighting at his feast. Romeo finds Juliet, holds her hand, and gets her to let him kiss her. All of this while the two of them talk to each other in poetry. After this encounter, each one tries to find out who the other is. They're upset to find out they're from rival families, but both of them decide they're too much in love to go back.
Y'all need to move. You need to move.
After
Well,
the
why
party,
you act
Romeo
like you
ditches
hitting
his
her?
friends and climbs over an orchard wall to see Juliet. He sees her on her balcony, talking to herself. Before she realizes Romeo is listening, Juliet says she's in love with him. Romeo steps out of hiding and says he loves her too.
Mucho tiempo. Estudio español en la universidad. Don't play games. I used to be an ESL teacher. Don't play games. That's right. Shh.